Good morning. Got my, oh, can't see the coffee because I don't have my, there you go. Check it out. It's August 16th. We're just looking at the load boards, load ratios, and I want to do a market thing. So let's take this video out. I'm still kind of stumbling around on this. And let's share a screen. And here we go. Let's do this here. All right, so this is all trailers right here. This is the 123 load board. Let's do flatbed. This is your, the green is good on this map. Yellow is okay. Red, probably want to avoid. You can see flatbed starting to slow down quite a bit. And it's always the same areas that's green. And so, take that information if you will. Let's do step deck. Take flatbed out. This is step deck. A little bit more green on this one. You got Oklahoma and Arkansas that kind of joined the party. Minnesota. Oregon kind of tapers off a little bit, but Washington's still fairly strong. And let's see, let's do van, since most of you are probably van. So we'll take out step deck. There's van. Arkansas and Oklahoma seems to have slowed down. So I've seen some slowdown in this area right here. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Minnesota too, and Iowa. These states are usually green. Texas is still pretty strong, but the rates aren't reflecting what they're wanting to pay in and out. Texas is kind of in a confused state right now because what they'll do is they weren't paying to go in because you were making it coming out. Now they don't want to pay as much to come out, and they don't want to pay to go in. So it's been kind of a, yesterday was kind of a trying day booking trucks. Let's do reefer, apply. There you go. Reefer's a little bit better on some areas, and then definitely worse than van in others. And look, Kentucky kind of weakens up a little bit as well. So that's your map. New Jersey's still really strong. So let's go to the other low board. So this might be hard to see if you're watching on your phone. Try to zoom in as much as I possibly can. There we go. There. This is for reefer. You've got Arizona taking a dump. Now the other day yesterday it was flipped. There was more loads coming out than in Arizona. Now it's kind of flipped. Arkansas looks good. California is decent. Colorado, look at Colorado show up to play a little bit. 241 out, only 198 coming in. So all these volumes are pretty low though. Delaware 31 in, 66 out. Iowa looks good, 229 out, 137 in. Illinois is still one of the top states, 929 out. As far as volumes go, Missouri looks pretty good on the ratio, but low on the volumes. New Jersey, there's more loads coming out of the small, tiny state of New Jersey than there are Missouri when it comes to reefer. So yeah, so the dark blue, if you don't want to look at the numbers, are the loads coming out. So if you see more dark blue instead of light blue, then that's good. Just got to pay attention to volumes as well. Look at Washington, 155 in and 303 out. My guess is that's apples. Apples are shipping now. And now's the time, if you're going to go to Washington State, now's the time to do it before all the weather hits. And here in about 2.5 weeks, you're going to have to start wearing, you're going to have to start putting your chains back on the truck if you're going to go west of Denver on Colorado there. In Colorado, not on Colorado, in Colorado. So look at Wisconsin, 200 in, 763 out. So let's switch this to vans. Much higher volumes. California, 2060 in, 1791 out. Let's see, Indiana, 902 in, 1580 out. Maryland, 363 in, 436 out. Michigan looks good. Missouri looks good. Missouri's 613 in, 990 out. New Jersey, again, 672 in, 1274 out. Look at Ohio, 1545 and 2160 going out. So that tells me that manufacturing's ramped up, and a lot of stuff is being shipped for the holidays right now. PA, Pennsylvania, 1532 in, 2243 out. So if you didn't mind the tolls, you could pretty much run, if you wanted to run short, Ohio to Pennsylvania and back, you should probably be getting good rates. Bouncing back and forth between those two states. Texas, 35.57 going in and 26.53 out. So make sure you're getting your rate going into Texas. And West Virginia has picked up a little bit. That's interesting. Wisconsin, 714 in, 1518 out. So, and we'll look at flatbed ratios. And we'll throw index in there too, Conestoga. All right, so Alabama, it's the place you want to be. Florida, look at Florida when it comes to flatbed and step deck. 999 loads going in and 788 coming out. Do pretty good in Florida, I guess, with flatbed. 667 in Georgia, 740 coming out. Illinois looks good. Louisiana looks really good. 192 in, 631 out. Mississippi, 131 in, 627 out. So, I mean, these load ratios look really good. Oregon looks good. South Carolina, pretty even. Texas is 22.54 going in and 23.22 out. Washington is 228 in, 605 out. So these the volumes on this right hand column here, these numbers are the real, if you're running the spot market, these are the numbers that you have to pay attention to as well. So anyways, I want to point out an email that shows some market summaries. I want to read it. So the August results from the University of Michigan surveys of consumers show overall consumer sentiment ticked up in early August, but remains near record lows. See chart below. The consumer price index for all urban consumers was unchanged in July on a seasonally adjusted basis. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported this week, and inflation is still red hot at 8.5%. While import demand in the U.S. has weakened with no signs of a quick recovery, Congestion at the eastern and southern ports will continue to ensure freight remains available until the backlogs are cleared. However, add in that inventories remain bloated and economic orders remain suppressed. The U.S. economy is facing strong headwinds. The takeaway here is that freight volumes are decreasing from previous highs. So look at this graph right here. See how it's like that graph is down. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of this graph because I don't want this to be a 20-minute long video. But if you guys notice that all these things are ticking down. There's your consumer sentiment right there. Boink. And that always happens when fuel drops. When fuel drops, or I mean, I'm sorry, when fuel increases, gas, people, you think about this as a personal, like your personal home budget. The wife and I were, the wife was working on the budget. I say I, but she was working on it. That's her territory. And she had mentioned that she's increasing the food budget because we have to. So our food, we're trying to eat healthy too. So that's a big part of it, but also because the cost of food, meat has gone up. A lot of things have gone up. Even the bad for you processed foods has gone up. So when you combine that with gas prices, people just don't buy as much. They'd rather go out to eat than spend money on a new item. So reefer marking conditions. So on this particular map, red is good, blue is bad, and you can kind of see how reefer's kind of all over the place. I think it also depends on the temperature of the air, the time of day, and if the moon's in phase or not, because if I can zoom this in, if I can, if well, let me try to get my thoughts together here. So when it's this random all over the place, it is hard to get a grasp on what you're doing. And so reefer's been kind of a challenge for me because of this. I'm trying to find consistency, and with that colorful of a map, that's kind of hard. So orange and yellows are better than blue. So, but as you can see, it's kind of all over the place. Flatbed is pretty consistent with what 123 is showing. Except it kind of throws in Montana and northern Arizona, Nevada. As you can see, don't go to the southern tip of Florida there. And then here's dry van. This is why everybody on Facebook is crying, because this is dry van. Pretty bleak. Pretty bleak. So, anyways, but it's still doable. It's still doable. So, that being said, thanks for watching. We'll try to go live tomorrow, and I got to get to work. So with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Peace.